Brian, what is going on in Nigeria?
It is indeed a massacre, and it needs more attention. It's devastating and unthinkable what's happening to the Christian community across the Middle Belt and the northern region of Nigeria. And I've been on in the field with believers there and seeing firsthand what is happening across that region, which again is hard to wrap our minds around, but it's happening every day. And again, we just had an attack over the past week on Palm Sunday as well too that was devastating.
So can you give me some examples of maybe what's happening on the ground?
Yeah, so there's a number of different Islamic extremist groups. It could be Boko Haram, Fulani militants who've been radicalized, Islamic State of West Africa Province, another kind of Al Qaeda spinoff, and these are all kind of pushing through Christian communities in the northern region, attacking at night. They kind of go through the same protocol: attack, abduct, rape, force marriages, take over communities, and force thousands of Christians that have been in those communities for decades to leave and be forced to go to IDP camps and find help and be basically put in a situation where they're completely vulnerable and left with nothing because of their faith in Jesus.
So, Brian, why is the media silent? This sounds like the most unimaginable atrocities being, happening in real time, and no one seems to not only care but be reporting on it. I mean, it's literally radio silence. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think there's two reasons. And one is basically because the news media today rolls through with what people care about, and people are not clicking on those stories. People are not engaging with what's happening in Africa today. And they're so distant, it feels so distant. And the second part is like there's conflict. Many media outlets feel like, hey, this is not a religious conflict, it's a socioeconomic or it's a ethnic conflict. But from our context in the field, from seeing it firsthand, it is a targeted religious persecution that's happening across the Middle Belt in the northern region of Nigeria to wipe out Christians and replace their communities with Islamic communities.
See, that'd be the pushback. I'm sure that, some people in the comments will say, oh, this is a land dispute, or in the Democratic Republic of Congo, this is about rare earth minerals. And is it mutually exclusive? Can it be both of those things at the same time?
Yeah, and I would say this: there are a number of factors. So it is a complex situation, but at the core, the people that we talk to, and again, firsthand testimonies of believers that I've spoken with who've been abducted by Boko Haram, have been, had guns held to their heads to ask them to deny Christ and to convert to Islam. In fact, spending time with Suzanne, a wonderful woman who was shot in the temple and left through the temple, left for dead, and now miraculously survived, but has lost her eyes and still has incredible faith, but she was unwilling to deny Christ. And that's happening time and time again across the Christian communities.
Wow. That, I got chills. Wow. I think this is such an overwhelming story. And my friend here wants to do something, but feels totally powerless. So how can we help our Christian brothers and sisters in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's first is to just be willing to step into their stories, read the stories from outlets like Global Christian Relief. There's many of others out there covering the stories. You have to look to find them, but enter and engage the stories. Pray for your persecuted family. I mean, a great time during this Holy Week too is to remember the suffering of Christ, but also remember and pray for the church who is still suffering for His name today, like those in Nigeria. So I encourage you. Prayer is paramount, but then also to give. I mean, these believers are left with next to nothing. Need food, need income generation projects, need shelter, need medical units as well too. So there's so many needs that we can pour into. So I would just say make that part of your DNA as a believer to make this story something worth caring about. Share it with neighbors.